the type of unity if you see in Goa, it is, of course, people say sun, sea and sand, that is one aspect of it. But there is something different in Goa. The people of Goa, the vibe that you get in Goa is totally different.
Welcome to Susegaad Musings, the brand new talk show that's all about the sun-kissed, beautiful state of Goa. Co-hosted by Amit, Chopra and myself, Ryan Lobo, we talk about the real Goa by speaking to people who call Goa their home.
More things were very unique. So when I moved from Bombay, so Narkasur festival, I was zapped to see the kind of craftsmanship people have and the kind of dedication. The overall statue of Narkasur, never seen. You have the Shahra, you have other places. Of course, Durga Puja is a very well celebrated festival, but this was very unique for me. Living in India, I was not having exposure that this kind of a festival pre-Diwali is so large.
The 7th episode of Susegaad Musings features two guests, Gajanan Karkare and Gagan Gambhir. Gagan was a corporate honcho and now a hospitality entrepreneur who moved to Goa during the pandemic. Gajanan came to Goa as a mining engineer and now has made Goa his home. He has a beautiful story about the culture of Goa which really attracted him and why he even refused to move abroad. We prefer to have Gajanan and Gagan share about it like only they can. So let's get straight into this episode of Susegaad Musings.
So welcome to another episode. Thank you so much for coming, Engineer Gajanan Karkare and Gagan Gambhir. Names are a little similar in the beginning, but thank you so much for coming to our show. We have a very interesting list of topics we're going to speak about. Gajanan sir, you came to Goa for a short period just after your education. You went back and then you came back again, and ever since then you've lived in Goa now for the past 28 years. So tell us, what is so attractive about Goa that you said, I want to live here?
Goa is a place that attracts every Indian, to be very frank with you.
Yeah.
So when I came in first in 1992, it was for a very short period of time, and I had to go back.
How much long were you here?
That was only for a month or so.
Okay.
Yeah, but the footprint of Goa was already printed in my mind that this is the place where I will be going.
So
Absolutely.
what was it? Let's figure out what was that.
Yeah,
footprint?
see the cultural factor, that is what I want to emphasize more upon. Goa is really diverse and multicultural in its offering. People are so good here and so diverse. You will see if any place in India that depicts multicultural society, that will be Goa, according to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are people from all facets of life.
Goa is a melting pot of all culture basically and diversity.
Absolutely.
Yet
Absolutely.
it has got a flavor of its own.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and the type of unity if you see in Goa, it is, of course, people say sun, sea and sand, that is one aspect of it. But there is something different in Goa. The people of Goa, the vibe that you get in Goa is totally different.
Absolutely. Gajananji, by saying the people of Goa and the unity that have, can you elaborate a little more on it?
You see, I would say this: the love that I got from Goans, and over the last 28 years, the time that I spent in Goa, I'm totally got involved into Goa.
Imbibed. You have
imbibed
Goa.
myself. Even if I talk to my son, he says that I don't want to leave Goa. So Goa has that kind of
You've assimilated
binding
into
element.
Yes.
That once you land on this soil,
Yeah.
that imbibes you to be here.
Yeah.
So I made Goa as my home for last 28 years.
If I talk about people person, Amit is a true personification of a people person. Like throughout your career in Goa, you must have met people from various classes, from various places. And what did you see is so different about the people of Goa?
Warmth, welcoming. This is the first two things. Goa is warm and welcoming in its nature.
the people originally of Goa, this is, I think, what sets it apart from all the other places. India is a very beautiful subcontinent, varied looks, the hills, the seas, the rivers, the forests we have, amazingly beautiful. What sets Goa apart is its people.
Completely.
So the warmth and vibe that you get here, you don't get it in any other place. I've traveled a lot of places in the world also. There are very warm people, very welcoming, but Goa ki baat alag hai, sir.
Absolutely. I agree with you fully.
This place is one of the few places in India specifically where we were talking down, sir. And I remember you mentioning that यहाँ पे Hindus celebrate with Christians their festivals.
Yeah, the festivals
The
are all
Christians
very
celebrate,
united.
the Muslims celebrate the festivals together. Now there's a diversity and yet a unity. Well,
Everything. Everything. You see, the main festivals of Goa, if you ask me, Shigmotsav is being celebrated by every community in Goa.
Absolutely.
And that festivity continues for a period of 1 month.
Almost a month.
Almost a month.
Just concluded, huh?
Yes.
You've been to a Shigmo?
No, I've seen a couple of times, last 2 years.
You have to be there. The vibe that comes, it's a festival of the earth.
Yes.
It's a festival of the earth.
And same thing applies to Viva Carnival. Carnival is celebrated
Carnival,
in each
yes.
and every household of Goa.
So, Carnival is actually a local festival again, which has become a little more famous or infamous, as you say. It is quite different from the Brazilian ones or the other ones you see.
Absolutely, yes.
This one more celebrates
Culture of Goa.
life and culture of Goa.
Yes.
And lucky this time we have taken a turn back to what it used to be.
Yes.
Beach mein it was becoming too commercialized.
Commercialized.
It had lost its flavor.
Yes,
So,
yes.
but this time it was better. I hope in the future it becomes even better.
Yes.
What we are talking about is here, I don't know, see what is happening here elsewhere. Saibin means bringing of the mother goddess by Christians in their homes. I think happens only in Goa.
Absolutely.
And the Hindus along with them, the Muslim neighbors, the Hindu neighbors will
Everyone
go to
celebrates it together.
their house where Mother Mary is brought in.
Correct.
Everybody calls it Saibin. Saibin means Sahib. जो हमारी साहिब की मदर या साहिब को पैदा करने वाली तो गोएकर all the goekars they bring them and the way people celebrate it Ganesh Ganpati you'll be surprised there are many Christians also celebrating in their homes Ganesh.
Absolutely.
If they don't at least do that, they go to their friend's house. They participate in it. I've seen people play the tali baja rahe hote hain, some are playing the dolki, some are singing along.
I think
way
the
they becomes
unification of the cultures in Goa is quite strong.
is strong and it is the most unique aspect of Goa, which people fail to recognize. People, as you were saying, na, sun, sand and sea. Goa ka ek Bollywood image hai, which is not Goa.
Yes.
So Goa is totally different when you are living here. Tourist comes with a different image. Goa mein kuch bhi chalta hai. But for people like us, even Gagan, last 2 years you have been here. Goa has become a home for us.
Yeah.
And ghar bilkul different hota hai.
Correct.
Ghar mein we are as normal as the rest of the
People
Indians.
say, actually, very rightly pointed out by Amit, people say that Goa is as a second home. But actually, I differ with that. Goa is a first home.
First home.
And I am being asked by many of my friends. Some of them are trying to find a home after retirement, and many of them want to come to Goa, to spend rest of their life. Actually speaking, if you go a little beyond, art and heritage is another aspect of Goa. Such a small, tiny place with only 16 lakhs population.
Now we must have reached around 18-20 lakhs.
Yeah. But you see, there are 13 forts.
Yes.
Starts from Kopderom to go up to Korjuve Fort. And
To Terakol also.
even Terakol Fort, which
End of
is
Goa.
in end of Goa. You see, government has taken steps to protect all this cultural heritage of Goa, including Pandava caves in Arambol.
Yes.
These are the tourist destinations people may call, but it has that cultural embodiment in it.
Yeah.
You go to Resh Magush Fort, sit there calmly for half an hour, you will feel the real Goa in you. Similar is the case with Arambol Pandava caves. You go and sit there, you will find that serenity and the peace and calmness in you.
And Panjim as a city The very strong cultural hub.
Cultural hub. You see, Panchim or Goa, for that matter, promotes art and cultural festivals through Kala Academy. They have all academic, degrees in art and culture, including Indian classical as well as Western classical.
Wow.
And they have a big platform for the people who want to perform in the form of theatre. In fact, theatre is one of the best. Now it is going to start in this summer. The local forms of theatre is theatre. You will find all local people in every nooks and corner of Goa. In every small village of Goa, there will be theatre performed.
Yes.
That is something which is
Very unique.
Very unique in the state of Goa.
Very
Very difficult to find somewhere else.
So you're saying this is not found in places like Maharashtra?
No. Also, Maharashtra has got its own theatre, this thing, which is very strong. I think
But
we are quite culturally also near them.
You see, there are two ways to look at it.
Okay.
I'm not saying theatre, art and culture is not there in the rest of India. But here,
The theatre form is not there.
theatre is one of the unique forms of theatre. But what happens in the state of Goa, it is not commercialized.
Yes, till now.
People look at commercialization in other part.
Yes.
If you are getting earning through that or not. Theatre artists are not paid. Or they are very
Peanuts, hardly.
paid in.
They are respected more.
They are respected more actually.
It's more of a passion than
I know quite a few of them. I agree with what you're saying. Theatre is more a passion with them. They're working somewhere, they'll take out time, they'll go and perform there for free.
Yeah.
Rather spend their pocket money from their pockets to do some things. People will put in money. The lack of commercialization.
My colleague performs in theatres in Konkani and Marathi.
Oh, your
language.
engineering colleague.
Yes.
Wow.
And I asked him many times, you give so much of time in rehearsals and then you go and perform, and in turn whether you get anything. So he says, the satisfaction that only I get, that I am contributing something for my own state.
Superb.
Beautiful.
In fact, a couple of more things were very unique. So when I moved from Bombay, so Narkasur festival, I was zapped to see the kind of craftsmanship people have and the kind of dedication in building the overall statue of Narkasur.
Yes.
Never seen. You have Dashera, you have other places. Of course, Durga Puja is a very well celebrated festival, but this was very unique for me. Living in India, I was not having exposure that this kind of a festival pre-Diwali is so large.
The best part of it is there are locals come together, boys, children, adults. They build it. The best part is they build it. And they create these effigies from their imagination. They use things, they try to create a demon who's going to get destroyed early morning by... The Narkasur story is that people don't even know that Goa is actually a very varied state. Goa has got a very unique original Muslim population in Goa. Goa has got a huge Christian population, right? But people don't know that Goa is majority Hindu.
Correct.
People don't know that. And yet, there's so much assimilation, bonding between each other, that there are festivals like the Milagres Fest with the Larlai, which happens in Asnora. Catholics will send, some of the older Catholic families still send offerings to the temple. The Milagres Fest, Hindus go and attend it. The Mardol festival, it is one of the topmost cultural festivals that happen in the Mardol temple. Right? Mangeshi Mardol temples. I don't know, Gagan, you have not been there, you should be there. Those are almost 450 years plus old temples. The beautiful craftsmanship. And the temples of Goa are a little unique. We have taken a little from the Brahmani Sultanate, and the domes that our temples have here are crafts that have taken from them. So it's a unique perspective of the temples of Goa.
Correct.
On architecture point of view, I'm saying.
Yes.
Because I love this, studying heritage and architecture is one of my passions. I'm not an architect, but design and architecture is something that people hate me for it. My wife will say, you go and stare at buildings.
No, even if you see now, whenever you go to an architect for construction of your house, the first question your architect will ask, do you want really a modern architectural house, or you want a Portuguese house. That is what is being promoted. You know, in Portuguese house, even the windows, you can see in the background these windows. Those windows has shells in it.
Yes.
So they are made out of shell. So that is the real Portuguese houses. There are so many houses, 150, 250 years old. They are still restored and kept.
Yeah.
And
I'll
maintained in Goa.
just like to point out, although they are called as Portuguese houses, they are actually, the style is called Indo-Portuguese, but actually they are not Portuguese houses. Goa has derived a unique this thing from the old Hindu traditional house, which used to have a Rajangan and openings on all four sides, right? And assimilated it with the Mediterranean style of architecture.
Correct.
And created a unique form. You won't find this elsewhere. Now Mediterranean people will think of the popular Mykonos Islands and white. No, Mediterranean architecture is more different than that. These colors come from there. The color that you see behind you, Gagan, behind me, this is the color that was followed earlier to bring some brightness into a dull life during the rains.
Absolutely.
So this is come from there. The openness, why the windows were with the shell. So light used to permeate, yet it used to be opaque.
Correct.
So you wouldn't see everything through it. Translucent rather, I would say, rather than opaque.
Correct.
And it also permitted movement of breeze. Breeze could flow through it. So with that shells, what used to happen is wind circulation used to remain.
Oh,
So-
so wind could pass through the shells.
Yes.
Okay.
And yet it was
The shells, it was uniquely constructed in that manner. That shells were put one by one. But they were like this. Slight gaps were there, so wind could come out. The way the roofs, tiles are put, which are called kavle in they are Mangalorean tiles. The way they were put also permitted hot air to escape through it.
Yeah.
So it created a natural cooling effect.
Yeah. Which
with
we don't
the high,
find in
high
our,
ceilings
in
and
our
that.
modern flats
But,
and things like that.
Those have changed because of needs of housing have changed. Single story houses, maximum 1.5 story houses used to be the earlier norm.
9 meters to 13 meters was the highest.
Was the height.
limit.
You know, Gagan, you are fairly new to Goa, and you also have a very interesting journey. You were working with Reliance. You headed many of their brands, Super Dry, you said. So can you tell us what happened and what attracted you to Goa? What is that pivotal moment? I believe the pandemic played a large role in that. Please share with us your story.
So it was 2020. I happened to do some investments in Bombay, which is my residential investment. And then pandemic, like it was outbreak in March. So I did in February, and it was a March thing. And then everyone was repivoting their investments, understanding. No one had a crystal ball that time. What will happen? How the things will be shaping up, etc. So of course, work from home culture was cropping up very heavily, and hence I was also scouting. Where should I go? And the first preference always in everyone's mind was, Sir said, sea, sand, and all those things in Goa. So all those things also struck to my mind. Thinking, okay, let's try Goa as a destination to work from home.
Yeah.
And then we scouted a lot of beautiful houses, which is one of the platform we discovered, and then came to Goa, saw the place, were there for 15-20 days, and I was absolutely stunned and in love with the city. It was not something I came for with the different mindset versus a traveler earlier to invest my next half of my life into a city wherein I would be spending a lot of time, and hence I invested in terms of I repivoted that investment from Bombay to Goa, and hence the journey started of what I am doing right now.
So you thought of Goa as, man, everybody in India wants to come to Goa.
Absolutely.
That's the premier holiday destination.
Yeah.
But you actually thought of Goa now not as a holiday destination, but as a place to live, and also now as an investment journey.
Yeah, investment and settle down. And I think with the kind of infrastructure coming in with the kind of policies and processes and ease of business coming in, I think it's one of the preferred destination with the vibe of Goa. You're living here, working in the city where a lot of people want to work, and also doing the same touristy activities when it comes to going to the sea, and which is now a part of your regular routine.
Wow.
So hence all those things clubbed together and made a firm decision for myself and my wife, put together stating, okay, let's start something in Goa. And I think it's a brilliant place. I think it's there's a lot of opportunities what we can create and co-create with people, and I think the kind of like-minded people I was very skeptical if I'll find someone who I would be able to found an opportunity and then worked and multiply what I wanted to do.
Right.
But I think I was skeptical. But right now I think this is the place wherein people can, if a good idea is seeded, and this is the place which people can get into and multiply what they want to do.
Awesome.
So, Gagan,
yeah,
I'll just ask a question. You're in a niche business. So can you just tell us what you did, what was the model, and what are you currently doing? What are you?
I believe you also looked at Airbnb and saw some things which Airbnb doesn't have. So you found an opportunity. So please share as Amit asked.
So I run a company called Tisya Stays. This is basically into property management and rental management.
And you actually quit your previous job to start this.
So while I did an investment in Goa, I saw a wide space when it comes to service offerings. So there were a lot of people who were doing the same business. Still the market right now I see is 80-85% people are doing this, but there is a lot of space to have an organized player who comes in and does that. There are many who are doing it right now in a very refined manner, but still there's an opportunity for a lot of companies to come in and do it. Okay, so what the model is we if you are buying a home in Goa and you want to maintain that house, okay, and also at the same time earn some revenue out of it, so we are the company to reach. And this is the model which basically hit me when I was looking for my house in Goa. Okay, while you are an investor, you pick up a house, you give it to us to run, and we operate on a revenue sharing model, and we give a large lion share to you because you are the investor, and we ensure the upkeep is done and you are getting the revenues at the same time.
What did you see in Airbnb that you felt you could fill that need? You said you were looking for 5 things.
I think there were few things which were categorically missing, which were available but in different platforms. So like if I have to go for a taxi booking, etc., if I have to go for a comprehensive chef service, if I have to go for a 24 hours availability of a manpower, if I also have to go for and get a Airbnb at the same time, a hotel-like response in terms of
Service.
the turnaround time, which is the most crucial thing for a person who wants to book a hotel with family, right? So if my AC goes off, for example, the service will be available 24/7. So those kind of things were missing. Clearly, a lot of Airbnbs were notified and the service is available 9 to 6. What happens after that? So we wanted to fill all those gaps and make an organization wherein people are living in a private space, okay, with the services which they can expect from a hotel in terms of the turnaround time. Also, the pandemic shifted the preferences of people who wanted their private space than the communal living like a hotel. So like I wanted a private pool. Okay, but hotel, the COVID people said, I don't want a common pool, right? Because you don't know how all the things will be.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
So those things which unfolded in the favor, and now this has become a very successful business model for a lot of people, and also at the same time we were able to generate a lot of employment for the local Goans. Because right now we started with 0 in September 21. We are around 30-35 homes right now. So 30-35 homes in a span of 1.5 years.
Wow. So these are villas, apartments,
yeah.
and which you provide 100% service 24/7.
24/7.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the kind of landscape we wanted to build, and this is the kind of grey space we
How many people are you employing currently?
So close to 120 people are employed.
Wow.
And
so this
out
is
of
creating
that,
value and employment.
Yeah. So out of that, 80% would be Goans.
Oh, that is superb. Yeah. That means this. We were having a conversation few days back on another show of ours, and this was what was propagated by one of the speakers, who said that real estate needs to be along with hospitality. Club with hospitality.
Yeah.
Real estate and hospitality together should come together and become the primary driver till at least Goa becomes the first home market. So primarily right now people look at it as a second home. For people like you, Gagan, me, it's a first home.
First home.
Right? I of course, was born here. Partially, I'm half Goan. So for me, it is a return to my roots and home. I've returned back to where I was born.
Absolutely.
I was born in Ribandar. I've come back to Ribandar. So it is coming back to the roots for me. But for a lot of people, like Gajanan ji, you, right, being here for periods that, 25 years, 30 years, like this, I know a couple of them for 50 years. I have been fortunate to meet families, Gujarati families, who have been here for, I think, 3 decades or so.
Yeah.
No, sorry, not 3 decades, 3 centuries or so.
Yes, yes.
So there are families here who are Goan, who speak Konkani as their primary language.
Yes.
Some of them don't even know Gujarati.
Yes.
So basically what happens is, because it is a state which is so, accepting of you,
Yeah.
which if you assimilate, welcomes you with open arms. So these people's families, I think, migrated here 300-400 years back, and they have been living here, running businesses, being here for years. They do speak Gujarati also, but they speak Konkani as well as anybody in Goa. So I've been fortunate to
yeah,
be.
yeah, absolutely. Like, I am very fluent in Konkani. My wife.
Unfortunately am
Yeah,
not.
My wife speaks Konkani. My kids, they also.
My mother
speaks
mother's
Konkani.
family.
So it is like, for me it is a home. So
Yes.
I can't distinguish between Goa and if I have any other home. So for me this is the home, and that is the reason I told you earlier also that there were opportunities for me to go abroad and settle.
Yes.
And
You're telling this.
go to any other place and settle. But we as a family had decided that this is the place that is going to be our home for the rest of my life. Even my son also says that he wants to be in Goa for his life. So
Super.
yeah,
and your son is I think IIM.
Yeah, he did his MBA from IIM, and then
Wow.
he found that Goa offers him better opportunities to do business.
So he's not in work. He's not working. He's
He's
doing
not
his
working.
own.
He has started his own finance startup.
Oh, super.
And
So this is
We were just discussing that we want Goa to be like a startup
Yes,
hub where
yes,
people
this is a
come.
startup hub basically.
this is so
already.
good.
Yeah,
Maybe one day I can ask him to be also on the show or
Oh,
something.
definitely. Why
So
not?
it will be a great this thing
Yeah,
to
yeah.
have a couple of these startup guys,
Exactly.
younger guys who have come out with these things. There's so many things, and you
Yeah,
just-
because again, one more thing what I would like to add, that earlier it was said that Goa there is no proper education and
Yeah, I was just- remember I was
but
asking
but
you.
you look at
Yeah.
it, like you have 6-7 engineering colleges. In addition to that, you have NIT in Goa, you have IIT in Goa, you have BITS Pilani in Goa. So full of engineering discipline and technical qualification is at par with the world.
Yeah, but yet remember I was asking you, why do we see the majority of Goans being attracted to the tourism sector and not towards engineering?
See, that is
That's the general
yeah,
perception.
See, that is obvious because Goa being a tourist space, operating in a tourist space, and lot of tourists that gets attracted nationally and internationally both. So naturally, that sector will rule the in employment in terms of creating employment opportunities. Industrial development is not that big in Goa, and for the fact that Goa is a small state. We can't compare Goa with any other state of the country.
No, but
So
Goa
it has its
provides a
own
lot of
limitation as well.
workforce in to other places. IT industry specifically, I don't know whether you realize this. Goa Engineering College comes in the top 30.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Goa Medical College comes in the top 30. GIMS, Goa Institute of Management and this comes in the top 25 management colleges of
BITS
India.
Pilani is in top 10 actually.
BITS Pilani is in top 10. So these great institutions have been here in Goa. We have got IHM, one of the top hotel management institutes, and there are many more. NICMAR is there.
NICMAR is there in Goa. Yes.
In Goa. IIT is setting up its campus in Goa. Hopefully soon they'll have a permanent campus. There are other institutes that have their own campuses.
There are many institutes which are small institutions also which are contributing a lot in terms of hospitality and management. There are law college in Goa.
Yes,
You
law
go
colleges.
to any field, Goa University campus you see, Goa University has all the potential to be number 1 university in the country.
Yeah.
Yes,
Why do you say that?
this thing. Yes, it has.
It has.
The kind of campus Goa University is, I've seen LIU, I've seen other universities. Goa University campus actually is equal with or if it doesn't surpass Delhi
It
University.
needs to be, looked into
Looked
different
into
angle,
different angle.
and it has to bring a lot of innovation and creativity at the campus. You have to have a top-notch faculties, and you will see that Goa University will definitely go in top 10 universities.
We have a huge education potential in Goa, sir.
Absolutely.
A lot of schools have just recently opened, as we were discussing.
Agree.
So some of them are what?
Now there is a international board, IGSE board, then you
Cambridge,
have CBSE board schools in Goa, you have ICSE board, you have state board, you have everything.
You know,
in
after
Goa.
the pandemic, actually a lot of things happened. A lot of high-end people started moving to Goa. And with them the high-end villas, and with them the high-end schools. You know, you must have seen
Ryan,
that.
I don't know whether you realize this, but this is something I love to point out. Goa has the highest per capita income in India.
Correct.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so high-end Goa is itself high-end.
Yeah.
So the people of Goa have been blessed with riches. Yes, there is a long way to go, lot of facilities, infrastructure boost that is happening now in Goa. For the last 6-7 years, the way the infrastructure has changed, and the change that is an increase of infrastructure that is coming in the next 5 to 7 years. Sir, I would like you to speak about that also, so that people understand what is Goa going to be about.
You see, by introduction of MOPA, the new airport that started coming in, and it has really, created a new opportunities in the state, particularly North Goa and adjoining district of Maharashtra in Sindhudurg. It is going to be a huge success in future in terms of infrastructure development, service industry, and at the same time, job creation and employment opportunities for the state of Goa. So there are many things that are going to come to Goa, and Goa still can hold its unique identity, because Goa is the only state where the forest is more than 40%. You see, Goa is a tiny space. 3,700 square kilometers is the area. If you see the western side, is totally coastal belt, and if you go on the eastern side,
it is the
you have a
hills and mountains, Western
hills
Ghats.
and mountains.
The Western Ghats.
Western Ghats. So you have a little tiny patch of residences.
Basically, Goa is a state of islands.
Absolutely.
Various islands clubbed together is what Goa is. From the Konkan belt. So I'll just little elaborate on what sir was saying, and I would like you to comment on that, sir. Mopa Airport is a greenfield airport.
Yes.
Greenfield airport is basically a cargo hub.
Yes.
Right? It is also coming up with a Aerocity on par with Delhi, if not bigger than that.
Right.
So we are going to have convention centers, hotels, 5-star hotels, conference facilities, MICE facilities, which are going to be, and MICE facilities is what I think is going to become one of the top businesses in Goa. It already is in aspects of destination weddings, as we were speaking earlier. Right. But beyond that, serious conferences and corporate businesses, the convention centers like the Tourism Department Convention Center, the IFI Convention Center coming in, and the convention centers that are going to happen near Mopa Airport.
Yeah, even Taj Convention Center is there.
So these convention centers are going to bring in huge amount of business, employment, and value addition to Goa. Plus, the cargo movement is going to become one of the biggest, logistics and warehousing probably is going to be the biggest business in North, South, and Sindhudurg.
It is untapped business till date.
One of the biggest business opportunities.
It has a lot of potential to come
I would also like you to point out to people that Goa is not just hospitality. Goa has had a huge mining industry. Of course, it has got.
You're a mining engineer yourself.
Yes. And you also work for one of the topmost groups in mining in India. So nobody better to talk about that also. So I think mining was the biggest business in Goa earlier.
Yeah. You see, mining was also biggest business, and today also it has a lot of potential. Government is regularizing the mining, and it definitely, I would not say it will not have an environmental impact. It will, but it can be done in a way. It can be managed in a way wherein which it will have a least environmental impact, but it
and
has
regeneration of all the nature can happen.
Absolutely, it can happen.
Also, we have one of the biggest pharma industries in Goa. 13% of India is the pharma
Production
production,
is
in India, Goa.
Yes.
I just hope that
13% of
13% of India's total
Wow,
pharma
that's
production
quite a
happens in
large
Goa.
percentage.
You,
So
you
it's
name
a huge
there
thing.
are there are big pharma companies in Lupi.
Almost every
Sitla,
every big company is there. In
all Unichem and there are many pharmaceutical companies.
Since we are talking about the potential of Goa, Gagan, you made a statement on why you believe Goa is the next big place. When it comes to investments, when it comes to growth, infrastructure, please tell us about that.
So I think, Rian, it's a very comprehensive thing. Like when people, as Amit rightly said, this is like people are making it a first home, and categorically, which means that while I am seeing an opportunity working from a very rich career of 21 years, I was always into corporate and found and did my due diligence and working here. A lot of people I've seen wherein I meet on a regular basis having the similar kind of a state of mind, because what we are discussing right now is something which is very popular in the talks right now, in the sense that we talk about infrastructure, we talk about our kids. That's what the regular pedigree of people would want.
Right.
So how their education will unfold for my kid who is 10 years old. Okay. How I would be doing in my career when it comes to an opportunity coming in a city which has only 16-18 lakh kind of a population. Okay. But with the kind of opportunities which are already existing and will flourish, I think that makes it as a very preferred destination to start anything. Okay. For me, as I said, I saw a big wide space in terms of working in this sector, because either you find a lot of organized hotels, which is big chains, or you find very small unorganized, like as an individual level, people doing these things, wherein a segmented sector which is not a star rated hotel but want to offer a luxury alternate accommodation was missing, and hence I incepted what I am doing right now. Okay. And similarly, I think it's applicable to a lot of other businesses as well. Okay. So that is something which maybe in going future would be a mindset of people saying, okay, this could be my first home kind of a thing, because I think it's as I said, it's land of opportunities.
Ryan, a thought just picking on what he said. I think we should do a couple of talk shows with certain other aspects also that have become big businesses in Goa. Craft liquor. We have become Asia's topmost destination for craft liquor. And craft liquor doesn't mean that promotion of liquor per se, but creation of liquor which you can enjoy without being a drunkard. We have had this new type of liquors being promoted in Goa. We always had Paul John became one of the world's topmost whiskies.
Yes.
Right? We had for years it's been winning gold medals all around the world, not just in India. Plus port wines used to be one of our top fortes in Goa. But gins, there are other whiskies come out. There are vodkas, alternative, the local tequila, Desmanji, agave. So you can't call it tequila unless it is made in Mexico. So agave. So there are a couple of many, not just, I think Desmanji, Paul John and others started it, but you see where it has gone. Feni, from just known as a local cheap drink.
I wanted to say that you see Feni and Ura is one of the largest cottage industry in Goa.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes.
Interesting.
And
because every farm where the cashews are grown, you will find most of them, actually, if not everyone, are manufacturing urak and liquor. And in summer season, it is right on the peak.
I'll tell you a fact that you give me a single malt and you give me Feni, good Feni. Urak in the season.
Yes.
And Feni otherwise. I prefer Feni or Urak
Absolutely.
over a single malt even today.
I don't think everybody understands what Feni is.
And
so there are two types of Feni.
There are multiple types of Feni. Coconut Feni and
Cashew
Feni being the primary two things. And in Cashew Feni there are multiple kinds.
Oh really?
Yes. So now there are flavored Fenis.
Okay.
Fenis which have flavors of lemongrass, flavors of this done by locals. And then this is the new kind of Feni being manufactured, which is superiorly distilled.
Yes.
earlier we just had one of top brands, Big Boss, but now Kajulo,
it-
Kazka.
Actually, they are all marketing companies. If you see the local flavor, if you want to take, in Urak also they call there are what vessel you are using, whether it is a copper aluminium,
earth.
or it is earth. If it is earth, then it is called Lavani Feni, and that
That
gives
is the
you
best
the superior
Feni.
flavor and
That is the best
flavor.
Feni.
I was not aware. You know, the Urak has only 13 to 14% of alcohol percentage.
Yes.
It's a very low percentage.
It's a very low percentage. It's just like a replacement to your wine in a way, if you see. But beautiful taste, and if
Don't
it
you
is
think
crafted
though,
well.
And in fact,
that Feni is like an acquired taste?
It is. Most of the Feni guys will love me for this. I think I have taught more than 1,500 to 2,000 people how to drink Feni. I made them fans of Feni.
Oh, wow.
Because I love Feni. So you know why my wife says I have a
don't
small
promote
collection.
the liquor drinking
I'm
in
not
this program.
No, I'm not promoting liquor, but I'm trying to tell you, it's a simple thing. I have a small, I like to collect a little bit, so I've got a small collection. But my wife says it's useless. You look at them and then you'll pick up a bottle of Feni and you'll open it. I have a couple. Feni drinking doesn't mean Feni is to be drunk like a medicine.
Medicine, yes.
Like people earlier used to just enjoy their drink. Have a drink, sit with it for some time, enjoy it, use it as during your conversations to just wet your throat and
It
keep
increases
and-
your immunity.
Yes.
People local they
It
say
is,
here.
it is. It's a good remedy for cold. It helps you your digestion system. It keeps you healthy. If you are drinking it like a connoisseur, if you start drinking any liquor, if drunk just for becoming drunk, then it is abuse.
It has a wrong.
If you abuse it, it's a bad thing. But the proper way, and this is what I wanted to point out. Most of the people in Goa, you'll be surprised, don't drink. So you'll be surprised that almost 40 to 60%, 50% of Goans don't drink liquor.
This is something which
And
is
the guys who drink, 80 to 90% of them can know how to hold their drink. They are not drunkards. They'll
It's
drink
a
to
social.
enjoy, and they will drink it, not just take tap. That is a trend in tourists. They learn to enjoy their drinks. They'll hold their drinks. They'll keep it as a conversation around with the conversation. Just have a sip, talk to you, enjoy the way they are drinking it. They'll talk. They'll speak more and drink less. It is something that people learn here, and they know how to do it. So the image of Goa that Bollywood shows, that uncle drinking, there are few bibdos, right? There are some people who drink everywhere. Drunkards are there everywhere. But that popular notion of Goa being, what it is something that I find
actually
totally
the
foolish.
image of Goa is being very, very tarnished one that is being shown to other part of the
Yes,
country.
yes.
If you ask me, this is the very safe, best, and the best of the best people you will find in Goa.
True.
I've seen that, yes. So true.
It is
Absolutely.
culturally so vibrant. It is so nice that you feel like it is really your home.
Let's ask Gagan, because you recently shifted to Goa. Now the culture in Bombay is very different from it is in Goa.
Yes.
So what would you like to say to what
From maximum
Gajanan
city
said?
to Goa.
So I think very rightly said. You need to feel it when you have to comment. So I, sitting from outsider, I was absolutely aligned what Amit is saying. Bahar se dekh ke, it looks like everyone is like that. But when you come into it, people are absolutely warm. There is a clear-cut understanding of human you see here, and as everyone is talking about how culturally diverse the city is, and yet there is a lot of unity around. So I think I am 100% aligned to what the conversation starter was when we started. It's clearly visible in the city, and in fact I was very amazed to see the kind of we do Ganpati since we Bombay 11-12 years, we do Ganpati. I was very pleasantly surprised to see how the Visarjan happens here.
Yes.
So we in Bombay have a different way to do a Visarjan. Here you go to a ferry, go inside the river, do that Visarjan. Very, very unique, and the environment was brilliant. So what I'm saying is that there is a diversity in terms of the similar festival, yet very, very pleasant. So and very welcoming. People looking at us, we non-Goans, right? And I was surrounded by a lot of people who are locals, right? and the warmth I got in that same ecosystem when we are going together and helping and teaching me how to do the local way of doing the
things.
Visarjan was brilliant.
Beautiful, beautiful. This aspect is something, every year my in-laws are from here only, so we do this, they have Ganpati at their place. So we are there for literally 5 days every year. Ganpati for me is now the prime festival for me.
Yes.
I was living all over the place, so I've seen various religious festivals, but this is more than religious. This is a family festival. Coming together in Goan style is coming together of families back to their roots. Yeah. I've seen people from abroad come
only for Ganpati.
Just for Ganpati.
Yes.
And it's an amazing thing where families come together and you go to, take darshan.
Yes.
To various places, various houses. There are friends I have been visiting for 15, 16 years. Since I have been here last 17 years, 15, 16 years I have been going to their house for Ganpati. I go there, meet them. It is like they know that this guy is going to come here anyway. Wo aayega hi aayega. So they are waiting for you. You become one with them.
Yeah.
And this assimilation, this culture of taking people together. We go for Visarjan, the ferry thing, we do it on the ferry. Of course, it happens in ponds, in rivers, in the seas. There various locations have it in different manners. But this is a unique way of things. And how people will wait for you. I have seen people from out of Goa, from people from Bihar also, coming and started doing Ganpati out here and becoming literally one. Of course, their way of praying might be a little different, but they are picking up and people are accepting it. And this becomes, the oneness that brings the uniqueness of Goa is probably this. Also, I'll like to ask you one more thing. Sir, we were talking of infrastructure.
Yes.
With the kind of highways, with the kind of things, with MOPA, with the biggest MIDs you're coming in Maharashtra on the border of Goa, with the highways from the Sagri Mahamarg getting almost completed, I think a couple of years that will be right. The Bombay highway, the widening is almost done. Couple of bridges down. Bombay will be, I think, 6-7 hours drive from here now.
Correct.
After once that they are completed.
4.5 yesterday's news.
Oh, that is another super highway that they are promoting. That comes in, that is going to be totally different. But I am talking of the one that is getting completed.
Yeah.
The Sagri Mahamarg connects are also complete.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether you know this, the Telangana connect for the highway through Tillari is getting taken up. The Dodamarg Banda road to Sakli road, which connects to Chorla, that is getting 4-lane. So, lot of highways. Goa, you see the amazing infrastructure network being laid down by the highway authorities. The kind of growth coming in, do you think it is going to enhance our lives? Or is it going to be a deterrent to us? Or what way we should ensure to preserve a bit of Goa? What Goa do you want preserved?
See, according to me, this infrastructure development is the need of an hour.
Absolutely.
It is not happening only in the state of Goa. It is happening all over the
India.
country.
Yes.
And it is also happening all over the world.
Yes.
Because nowadays, connectivity and, is a part. Like, for example, if I don't give the better connectivity facilities, it is very difficult to, do the business. That is number one. Number two, why this infrastructure development is happening to this extent is, look at our population also.
Absolutely.
It is always going northward.
Yes.
Now, when in 1947, we were only 30 crores, right?
We are almost
today we are
140
around
plus.
140 crores.
Yes.
Our requirements have increased.
Absolutely.
Our needs have increased. You cannot be like how it was. Now, only one suggestion and only one thing that I think, it has to be sustainable.
Absolutely.
And to make it sustainable, we have to promote green Goa equivalent to what we are destroying the Goa.
Absolutely.
I'm fully agreeing with you. What you are suggesting is why so many lane roads are required and all. But
No,
you
I'm
see
not
our
saying
past-
why.
No.
I'm actually saying, do you think that is going to be a positive aspect for us or a negative aspect?
But you look at it. Suppose you don't do it now, you will have to do it sometime in future.
Yes.
You cannot avoid doing this.
Yes. This is what I wanted to
The connectivity has to be there. And and otherwise there won't be an economic prosperity throughout the country.
Yes.
We cannot be in India but still at the same time away from India.
Yes, true.
So I think yes, it has to be a bit sustainable, and that sustainability will show us the way ahead.
You know, sir, people like Gagan who have come in, they have created new value and wealth in Goa. So people who create value and wealth in Goa with new kinds of businesses, people who do food industry. Goa is becoming the food capital of India and probably the Asia also. Every day we see a new outlet happening. I think that is what is required more.
Absolutely.
Businesses and ideas that generate wealth, create employment, create value is what we require more. And I think this infrastructure boost happening with MOPA and other things coming in, I think is going to be an amazing opportunity for all of us.
Absolutely.
It is exciting times ahead.
I think one thing to add on this one is, so this infrastructure boost will also enable the local student talent to be in the city and do good for the city further.
Yes,
So a lot of times right now what's happening is a lot of people are looking at opportunity outside the city. So this basically will, when you see a lot of opportunities coming in with the infrastructure development, people have those opportunities coming in, and people, it will be like a self-sustained, like an ecosystem when it comes to that.
With
Correct.
people like your son becoming entrepreneurs, not looking at getting employment outside, which he easily being a IIM graduate would have had, I think is a wonderful thing.
Clear sign.
Yes,
It's a clear sign.
I agree with you.
You know, in fact, you yourself had worked in many countries. You've also had the opportunity to settle in those countries, but you chose not to. You decided to.
Yeah, absolutely. So
live in
there
Goa.
were opportunities that had come my way to leave Goa, but I didn't leave because I thought that I am actually become a real Goan now in last 30 years.
I know
Staying
what
here.
you feel. Same was here. I think, Ryan, you were brought up in Bombay. Though you are a Goan, you were brought up in Bombay. You have worked abroad also. Same with you also. Na?
Yeah.
You also decided to come back and
And
give
many
back
of my
to Goa.
friends, many of my friends, they are from advertising professionals to engineering professionals, software and management professional. I had many friends who are local from here.
sir,
In last 30 years,
a diverse
I
question
have
before
most
we
of
close.
the local,
A
people as
diverse
my
question before we close the show. You are also the chairman of the Engineers
Yeah,
Association
Institution of Engineers, yes.
yes, in Goa. So, what does the Institution of Engineers in Goa do?
See, we actually represent and promote engineering education in the state of Goa. We also promote a good, innovative and creative engineering practices. We organize a lot of symposium, international seminars, national seminar in the state of Goa, and the Institution of Engineers actually represent all the 13 engineering disciplines.
Oh, superb.
Right from civil, mechanical, electrical, computer, we have convener for every discipline.
Wow.
So we are also doing, like last year, since I took over as the chairman of the Institution of Engineers, we had almost around 8 to 9 programs conducted.
Superb.
And very well attended by a lot of people from the fraternity, and we had very good chief guests and experts from the field who had contributed their knowledge and things like that in the promotion of engineering practices, safe practices and sustainable practices in the state of Goa.
Superb. You also have been part of other, coming to other associations, imparting knowledge there.
Yes.
Our association also, you were one of the honored guests.
Absolutely.
And not only you,
Thanks.
predecessors of you also
Yes,
have been part of our events and things.
Yes.
This also is a part of Goa, unique thing. Huh?
Yeah.
Various trade organizations collaborating and combining, trying to create a better Goa is a unique thing happening in Goa. I think other states should learn this from us and do it better. Architects Association, Brokers Association,
we work actually
Developers
together, yes.
Association, Engineers Association, Lighting Engineers, Landscape Engineers, all come together on various common platforms in each other's events, have events. I was invited on by...
I'm also a member of Management Association.
And
so what happened, we are, as an institution of engineers, we also tie up with the Mining Engineers Association of India.
Yes.
We are tying up with GCCI, with CII. So we have tie up with everyone, and every platform, there is a cross cultural and sharing of information from one
that is
platform to other
probably one of the
platform.
best things and best learnings that I hope every state can do. I think we have had a very educating and long talk with the both of you. I'd love to, have more people like you come and speak. Thanks from my heart, Ryan.
Thank
So
you.
thank you very much. It's been a really great talk. We'd love to associate with you even more. But thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure. From Amit and myself, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thanks,
Thank
Amit.
you.
Thanks
Thank you.
for having
Thank
us on
you.
the show.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Amit, for having us on show. And hats off to your efforts in projecting the good part of Goa to the
Thanks
people
a
of
lot.
Goa and outside.
Thanks a
as
lot
well.
for
Yes.
understanding what we were trying to do.
Yes.
Thank you.
This has been a part of how this thing for I think a year and a half before this dream came true, and we tried to create a mini Goa atmosphere so that when we are sitting, we feel comfortable. We can give the feel of Goa also.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Susegaad Musings. Stay tuned for the release of the next episode of Susegaad Musings exactly in 1 week. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any other podcasting platform. Watch us on our YouTube channel or follow us on Instagram and Facebook @Susegaad Musings. Susegaad Musings is brought to you by Amit Chopra and me myself, Ryan Lobo. I will see you in the next episode.